You said, can you explain sunspots? You brought it up once. I was supposed to be make a video about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Because sunspots, I just experienced that. And, we was having a discussion a little earlier about something that's even related to sunspots and shit like that. All right? So a sunspot is basically a part of the sun, a light ray that... All right, let me break it down like this, right? We stay inside of a being. So teamwork makes the dream work as a collective. So when we separate from all forms and bodies, as a spirit, as a space, none of that shit matters because we all just a space. Now, when we get into this motherfucking circumstance, right? Here's the motherfucking thing, right? Your consciousness is the first form of light. You know what I'm saying? Your awareness, right? Now, when you in a certain space as a spirit and you create an awareness, that awareness is like a light you created in a certain space. Now, the only thing that's stable in the universe is transition, right? So as a spirit, once you move, you have created a sunspot, a light spot, a vision spot in a certain area. Now that goes into the universe and beyond. Right now I'm speaking from a spiritual nature as Uriel. Let me break this down to a third dimension, right? There's certain experiences that you went through in your life solely because of the fact the way the sunlight hits you. And when the sunlight hits you, you visualize the world through that filtering system. And whatever stargate you walk through, aka the experience that you experienced during that day after the sun hit you, was actually the sunspot that you experienced. Now, since everything transitioned, also that little sun ray. Now you're one specific person amongst trillions and billions. So that is very rare, but a lot of times it happens, like deja vu, where that specific sunspot and that location of your life you actually come back around and meet that same spot. And it might not be in the even same exact location. It's just a certain sun ray from the sun. When the sun was doing what it's doing and we was doing what we was doing, you only get one angle one time out of the lifetime. Sometimes you only get one thought and feeling one time out of a lifetime. But that sunspot, that experience you went through, you will never go through another experience like that again. I don't care how similar it is. It'll always be different. This is why it's no two snowflakes the same. So, every now and then, we get older, or next week or something like that, and we go through a situation, and it don't matter where we at. We probably could have moved to another country. We crossed that same sunspot that hit us at an earlier stage in our life. So when that sunspot, when we in that environment and that sun ray hit us, we get reminded of a whole bunch of circumstances and shit that deal with last time you was in that sunspot. And you seeing it from a different space now, but you're seeing the same sunspot. So you get reminded of certain shit and things of that nature. Like I just reached the sunspot when I was in John Eagle the other day, and it reminded me of a shit that I forgot, my kindergarten class and shit like that. And I remembered the smell. I remember walking in there. I remember how I looked at everything just because I walked down a certain aisle before I reached the freezer aisle in John Eagle. And that shit was crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? But I reached a sunspot when I went in that environment, and that the way that sun was hitting that spot at that time was the same light ray that was reaching a spot where I was at when I was in kindergarten. It was that same light ray. So that same memory. I forgot all about how that classroom looked and everything until I went to John Eagle. I got reminded of the kindergarten smell, everything.